right, so welcome to the next episode of Discipline, Desire, and Dedication. My name's Dakota Lang, along with co-host Garrett Cotton. Episode number 20. So, pretty exciting. Continue to grow. Came a long way. Mr. Steele, out of Dallas, Texas, just got in over here in Austin, bro. Welcome.
Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate the invite, guys.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to a good show. This is what, number 20 you said?
Yeah, number 20. Episode number 20. So,
big deal. Big deal.
Oh, yeah. Came along. Not too bad of a setup for that, huh?
No, pretty sweet setup. I'm impressed.
Yeah. So, tell us a little bit about you, bro. Tell us about where you're, you said you're from Louisiana, correct, as well?
Yeah. Louisiana's a popular state over here. I've watched some of the other podcasts as well.
Yep.
It's always awkward when you're asked to tell about yourself. It's just kind of one of those things. But I guess the short version is I'm from Louisiana, small town called Donaldsonville, south of Baton Rouge. And I've been in entrepreneurship since age 15. First business was a snowball stand. That was the very, very first business. I made all kind of mistakes and all that. And, now I own a marketing company. I'm co-owner of a marketing company where we specialize in helping small business owners have websites, digital presence, really just trying to help people grow and do more and expand. A lot of the clients we work with, we help like roofers, plumbers, people that have service-based businesses but don't necessarily understand the ins and outs beyond what they're specializing in. So, a roofer's going to be an amazing roofer all the time. We help translate that to an audience so that they want to use their services, they create the trust, and, that's kind of where our company comes in.
And with entrepreneurship, it's a lot of it's self-taught. Do you have a degree? Did you go to college to get into marketing, or where's that come?
Yeah, awesome question. So I got a degree this year in information technology. Didn't really feel like I needed a degree. It was more like I want to appease older family members where that was like a traditional thing. And that's a great subject too. The irony of that is that once I got the degree, they didn't care. and I think that's an important thing. There's nothing exceptionally wrong with getting education. I think education's amazing. But my gosh, please, if you're going to do it for the right reasons. Don't just do it to appease, an 85-year-old grandmother who, respectfully doesn't understand 2024 as it relates to business.
Yeah. So how long have you been with the marketing company that you're with now?
Yeah. So officially the LLC was January of 2021. So we're 3.5 years in officially. I mean, we did some, freelance work before then too.
So you had you had the snowball stand. You went to college right after that, or
he was 15 with the snowball stand.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
A little bit of a gap.
So you graduated through high school, then you went to college right after that.
Yeah, that's correct. Went to college. That's what you were supposed to do, so to speak. Flipped around with about 7 different majors.
Yeah. And how old are you now?
Yeah, I'm 35 now.
35 now. Okay, 35. Cool. And so you go through college. You just said that this ain't the route to go.
If your heart's not really in something, you're just not going to do what you have to do to complete it. So, I floundered around college, changed my major upwards of 7-8 times, dropped out, went back to school. And then I was like, okay, I was like 22 at the time. Yeah. I got into LSU for petroleum engineering. I'm like, oh, cool. This is the highest paying major. Let's go dive deep into this. Same deal. C's in every class. I couldn't bring myself to do it because I wanted that ownership. I wanted that control of if I want to make this amount of money, then I want to be responsible for that. I don't want a piece of paper necessarily to represent me to make some money. And I'm not against education. I think education's a great thing for the right people. But if you know for a fact that you're destined for, sales, entrepreneurship, if you find yourself in leadership positions more often than not, you're probably leaning more to the entrepreneurship side than, the 9-to-5 deal.
Right. So, okay. So you go through college, you come out of college, and what's the move now?
Yeah. So the move was, again, kind of flounder around because I didn't even feel like I was ready for business. One good decision I did make, though, from ages 24 to 30. So for 6 years, I was actually on Craigslist, on Facebook Marketplace, buying and selling appliances, furniture, you name it. Anything that I could scoop up for a good price, fix up, resell with awesome descriptions, awesome pictures, and the whole thing. that was my game plan. My game was, let's make $300 a day every day, because that's a 6-figure job if you do the math.
Yeah.
So I did that for 6 years. I just, I settled in some ways, and you can settle in business. So I settled at a certain number. I settled to pay my bills and have a little bit extra.
And is this why you're still living in Louisiana?
Yes. So at this point, I'm living in Baton Rouge doing this.
Okay.
Literally thousands of products have been sold that I flipped. But, it felt more like settling. I wasn't growing from that in those 6 years. I just had like a decent salary, and, it didn't feel organized. So that's when I came up with the idea, let me research marketing. I saw somebody on the internet talking about it, and I went down the rabbit hole. Then learned more about it. I was already kind of marketing my furniture, so I said, okay, this is a good fit. And yeah, that's pretty much how the marketing company got started.
Basically always worked for yourself. You've never had like a job where like W-2 type job?
I've had a couple. I worked for GNC. It was a sales job. Yeah. Worked my way up to district manager of Jackson, Mississippi. Let's see what else. Worked at Rooms to Go briefly. Also sales job.
Yeah. Always with the people.
Always with the people. You got to.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic as well, because for me, I've always felt like, in a sense, I was like bartending. Bartending's working for myself, selling myself, and then I went into healthcare for a little while because I thought that's what my degree was going to be in.
Okay.
I didn't graduate because I got into healthcare and saw what it was like. I was like, well, I've wasted 4 years of my life working towards a healthcare degree because I will not work in healthcare. So then I ended up going back to serving tables, and that's whenever I started getting into the true sales work. That's what me and Dakota do now with door to door.
Yeah. So when's the point that you moved to Dallas? Like, was it for the marketing aspect, or was it just like, hey, it's time to get out of Donaldsonville or Baton Rouge?
Again, I was falling into the trap of getting extremely comfortable with just making it or having a little bit extra. And I felt like the environment I was around, that's what was expected of me.
Yeah.
And that's no disrespect for anybody back home. There's a lot of amazing people back and a lot of really ambitious people, a lot of sharks. But for me, at least, it was just, I was around an environment where I didn't feel like I wanted to grow anymore. So, literally got on Google, typed in apartments in Dallas. I looked at 3 places, didn't even go in person. I said, you know what? This place has 4 stars, good enough. Let's go. So made the decision. I left in 4 days, packed all my stuff, and rest is history.
Split decision, 4 days.
Very, very much so. I mean, you got to be decisive.
Yep.
Because if it's a big decision that you want to do, but it's scary, you're going to talk yourself out of it.
And that's one thing that we go through all the time as far as people coming to join our teams and stuff here in Denver. And the people that can make that split decision are the ones that take that next step. Because the ones that, I need to think about it, well, then all they're going to do is think about it. They're never going to have any action with it.
And I would say even the ones that they come and try the job, I think they'll come for a week and they're like, let me see if I can do this. They never stick.
Yep.
But it's the ones that they just take the risk and burn the boats, That's pretty amazing.
I love that saying, burn the boats. Yeah. First time I heard that was in a David Goggins book.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah, and when you went to Dallas, so no girlfriend holding you back or anything like that, no distractions. It was just you, and you picked up and left.
Yeah, single guy. I'm not single anymore, but when I moved, single guy. Just I just wanted to be in a very distraction-free place where I didn't really know a ton of people. I got a couple of friends in Dallas, but and it's been 9 months. Best decision I've made this decade was moving out.
Would you say that it kind of felt like your life started when you moved? Or, you've had a pretty eventful life even before then. You said you wrote a book in 2016 and stuff like that, which...
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. But to answer your question, I did feel like I was just starting the new chapter, signing off on the old one, starting something new. The book. So the book is called Procrastination, the Cure for I'll Do This Shit Later. Hopefully I can say that word.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the name of the book. I was going for something controversial. That way it would sell. There's thousands of books out there. Most of them don't sell. Thousands of podcasts, but you guys are on podcast 20.
Yep.
Most people don't get there either. So, So yeah, the book comes out. It was a bestseller in its category for productivity. And the book was focused mainly on, in 2016, social media was not as big as it is now, but it was getting there. People were getting very addicted to their phones. They were getting very addicted to social media, Snapchat, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And the book outlines basically just making sure that you're timing how much you're on these devices, how much influence they have on you, things of that nature. So, it had a decent amount of success. I think we sold 7,000 copies between selling copies, but also free copies I've given away on Amazon.
Yeah.
You can still buy the book now,
That's impressive.
It's kind of a shameless plug, but it's a podcast. That's what you do in podcast.
Right. Yeah. That's pretty cool. What inspired you to write that book?
So that's a great question. It was a book to help myself, but also I saw a lot of people in the same age group. I was at LSU at the time, or I was just coming out of LSU, excuse me, and everybody was dealing with the same issues. They were just glued to their phones. You walk into class, you're glued to your phone, and it got me thinking, it's like, how much time do we waste that we don't even realize? And you got these gigantic companies who own all the platforms. And by the way, I have nothing wrong with capitalism, but these companies are taking away your attention span where you can become something yourself. And it pissed me off a lot. So I decided to write the book, partly for myself because I was falling into the same trap, but also for other people that I was seeing just, glued to their devices. You got a bright lit face, from your phone. And that was pretty much the inspiration for it.
Yeah, it puts the world in a weird place because, but at the same time, it allows easier access for success. Because you think about all the people that are distracted, it's hard to put the phone down. It's hard to delete TikTok. I deleted all the social medias until we got a podcast. And then I'm like, well, I got to share the podcast. But then it does distract me still today, because of having that. Do you have any, you're in marketing. I'm assuming you have some sort of social media now, huh?
Oh, yeah, I have to. Social media is how I probably land 90% of our clients.
Yeah, exactly. Because everybody's on their phone.
Yes. So, it's a double-edged sword. You're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But
yeah.
The strategy I have, I pick 10 to 15 influencers that I have to watch what they do, or podcast, and I focus just on those. Otherwise, I'm going to get too distracted with everything else bombarding you. It's a race to get your attention, and you want to give your attention to things that matter and things that are going to propel you forward. Podcasts like this is great use of your attention because it's going to help you grow. Podcasts like, David Goggins doesn't have a podcast, but he does videos.
Yep.
Jocko Willenick, so he's Navy SEAL guys.
Oh, great.
Andy Elliott, love him or hate him, but
I love him.
I think he's pretty. I like his energy. I like his energy. At first, I didn't care for him at all, and then I got to see the videos and know him a little better. The energy, a lot of the advice, it's controversial, but there's a lot.
He's got good intentions.
There's a lot of truth to it. It is good intentions. So.
And then would you say that, so being 35 now, would you say you have like a 5-year plan, 10-year plan? Like what's some of your goals that you have coming up?
It's funny. I was actually driving here, a 3-hour drive from Dallas down to Austin over here.
Plenty of time to think.
Plenty of time to think.
Yeah.
I do have some vague plans 5 and 10 years in the future, but I try to keep my plans down to about 3 to 6 months, really and truly. I used to have a booklet I'd carry around with a 5-year plan. I'd write it all down. What happens is the plan deteriorates and it morphs into something else and something bigger. So I would say if somebody does have a 5 and 10 year plan, that's amazing. I think it's a smart move. But be prepared to revise that as things change and circumstances change, and maybe your goals and your mindset evolves too.
Yep.
Yeah. When I came to do this job, it was like, oh my gosh, if people are making that kind of money, I'm here for good. Yeah. And then I started getting into knocking doors, and I'm like, man, I have a script. Yeah. I'm like, I'm out here, I'm acting like this person. I was like, I'm going to knock on a director's door and I'm going to be an actor. They're going to say, come to California. And I'd go, so you really, truly never know what the route's going to take you. But
that's so true.
Well, that goes back to, I was listening, I can't remember where I was on a TikTok or something I was watching.
Distracted.
And it was a good distraction. And, but it was talking about, and I'm going back to where you said, where you moved to Dallas.
Okay.
As far as, changing the conversations that you're surrounded with, right? And whenever we've all made that jump as far as leaving the hometown, going somewhere where you don't know everything, and it's just you and the world.
Yeah,
right?
It's scary.
Yeah, and it's scary, but that's your biggest step. That's your biggest step, and once you take it, there's no looking back. Just like whenever I moved to Denver, I tell the guys that come here to Austin now, I'm like, that was the hardest move, is going to Denver, right? After you do the first one, the second and third one, and the fourth one, those are easy. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's always that first step. So you get to Dallas. Your business partner is from Dallas?
No, business partner is from Baton Rouge, still lives in Baton Rouge right now.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Majority of our clients are still in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
I would say only about 15% of our clients are currently in Texas.
Okay, so but you're still expanding out in Texas.
Oh, absolutely. We have clients in I think 31 states right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah, and it's funny how they find you. We were talking earlier off camera about word of mouth.
Yep.
Man, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Really nothing more powerful. Maybe second is Google reviews.
Yep.
Right.
But
that's literally how Performance Windows, the company we work with, we don't pay $1 towards conventional advertisements, and it's only word of mouth because door to door, right?
Yeah, of course.
And then along with that, the Google reviews that we get them to sign in contract that they will leave us one. So it just continues to grow our business and expand.
Yeah, and a very, very smart strategy.
Yeah.
If any business owners watching this, please double down on getting reviews.
That's it. Especially in today's world, like in 2024, everybody goes to Google. And BBB, everybody. Yelp, all the above.
I'll tell you a crazy stat. 91% of buyers of any service or any product are going to read reviews first.
I'm guilty. I'll do it.
Before they make a buying decision.
Yep.
Whenever I heard, actually, that was the stat that kind of got me into marketing.
Yeah.
When I read that, I said, oh my gosh, nobody's doing this. We need to help business owners,
tap into 91% of the market.
Exactly. That's exactly
crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big, a broad clientele, so definitely. Who you texting over
there? Dustin said a walk in.
Oh man, still not going to close.
Nah, Clay better be going to close. You better be.
Yeah, but along with like moving out to Dallas, so do you have to go back to Baton Rouge pretty often to go and ever see any of the people you work with, or is it pretty much all digital?
So I've gotten Sarah, our co-owner. She's not the salesperson for our company, but she kind of steps in to kind of bridge that gap because there are times that people want to meet.
Yeah.
Especially people with service-based businesses. They like to see people in person. The Zoom thing doesn't resonate with them as much. Yeah. So whenever that happens, she steps in. She does a great job.
Is there ever like a big scamming market in that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Because I mean, think about it. If you do a lot of the stuff online, anything online nowadays, it seems like a scam. So.
Yeah, I'll be very transparent. We battle, a lot of industries, you battle people locally, and that's tough. With digital marketing, we're competing with people in Pakistan and Bangladesh who frankly are pretty darn talented. I got to give them credit for it. And, $5 in Bangladesh is like, $100 here. I don't have a calculator, but it's worth a lot more. So, it's really important that we focus and double down on customer service, making sure that we're available at all times. I give everybody my cell phone number, and I've been criticized by my business partner. And I tell everybody, I heard Elon Musk say this one time. He told somebody, call me at 3 a.m. I don't care.
Yep.
And that resonated with me. And I tell clients, call me at 3 a.m. If it's an emergency, I will answer. And if I don't answer, I'm going to be there quickly to, talk to you. And, I stand by that. I'm not closing $1 billion deals like Elon is, but I think that's a kind of a way to live by. You got to be of service to other people if you want to get somewhere.
It comes down to that saying of, if in order to be successful, you have to be first, you have to be different.
Yeah.
Giving a cell phone out, I mean, it's again with the sacrifice, but you have to do something different to stand out. So
yeah, absolutely.
I feel like it's also a stepping stone. Elon Musk, he didn't start off with those giant deals. It's the progression. Right. So starting those sacrifices, continuing those sacrifices for as long as we're alive, really.
What would you say is in the digital marketing aspect, what would you say is your biggest challenge on a day-to-day basis?
You guys touched on it. The biggest challenge is the trust barrier. And the ways that I've gone about, fixing this up to make sure that clients kind of have the warm and fuzzies a little bit whenever they talk to me. First thing I do, if I'm reaching out to somebody, kind of like people going door to door, they're going to see your face. I don't cold message people unless I've made a personalized video that discusses their business, their specifics, and I don't feel I have the right to ask for a sale until I can tell them how I can help them free of charge. It's definitely more of a consultation first, not a quick sale, and I never want to give off that impression to anybody, that we try to work with. So that's the biggest thing. It's just being very forward facing, and in the age of AI is taking over everything. Even Snapchat has an AI bot.
Right.
And it's like you got to be more human. The more human you can be, the more you're going to win, especially when things are getting very not personal anymore.
Yeah, I've heard that a saying that sales nowadays is it's leaning more towards the relationship, feeling, emotion sales rather than reason or statistics and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's correct. Customers are more educated than ever before. I'm sure you guys know that from the people you talk to. So you're spot on. It's got to be a relationship sale. I would say trust is like 80% of everything, and it's just, and you can't fake it, which is a good thing. I don't want that to be faked.
Right.
So
talk about, so you go through, you take it from, you're working with people that are starting up companies,
and
majority?
I'm also kind of curious too, on the consultations that you go through, do you kind of show projections of how you can help their business grow, or is it kind of just a broad spectrum of what your business entails, or what's that look like?
Okay, good question. So it's very it depends on what their business is. So I love to work with startups, brand new businesses, so we can build from the ground up. I do work with people that have already established businesses. It's a little more difficult because a lot of these people have already had marketing companies that produce no results, or have just taken their money and haven't done a damn thing with it.
Yeah.
So it's a lot harder to get that trust factor with people that have already had businesses, and then to prove to them, hey, this is why we're different. Here's how I can prove that we're different. In the beginning, I would give away, free services, just to say, hey, look, I'm going to do this for free, and it's going to be so amazing. You're going to have to pay me to continue doing this.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess it's individualized based on what the business is. I guess that's the best way to answer that.
Right.
Yeah, but it makes sense though. And what were you going to ask?
I
don't remember. I got sidetracked.
Oh, yeah, I kind of interrupted you. I was just thinking about that consultation.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, but in like a...
Oh, I was talking... It was kind of... You pointed on the new businesses or the...
Oh, okay.
As far as what do you feel like? You feel like majority is new businesses you're building from the ground up, or you feel like majority of your clients are people that already had businesses, and then you just took, as time goes on, the more that digital marketing is into a business and compared to what it used to be 5 to 10 years ago.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody that's been in business since the 90s, and they're just now making a online presence.
Got it. Okay, I understand the question. So,
because for example, my grandpa, he owns a hydraulic business. He's been doing it since the 60s, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, he's still selling to big time clients and stuff like that in the industrial field, but at the same time, he has zero online presence, right? And that's one thing that, I've said to him over and over again is dude, you got to make your online presence so much more because you're going to reach a totally different market. Do you feel like a lot of the businesses that, especially old timers, to get them to make that presence, is that kind of your target audience?
No, you're spot on. That's huge. So I misunderstood the question at first, but yeah, it's basically businesses that have been around for a while who are looking to get upgraded to, the way things are now. They already have a clientele. People already know their name in town. They want to expand. Really digital marketing is the most effective, cost-effective type of marketing there is. Nothing wrong with billboards. Nothing wrong with, legacy media putting a ad on TV.
Right.
But, dollar for dollar, Facebook ads, Google ads, Pinterest ads, even depending on the business, it's hard to beat that.
Would you say it's kind of because it's more personalized whenever it's more of the social media?
Yeah, that's exactly. Your conversions, people that are actually going to, buy into what you're saying, you can target, an entire area. You can target an age group. You can target somebody's interest. So, I mean, I would say the only way to be more personal is really to go knock on somebody's door, frankly.
Yeah.
But
What we do.
Yeah.
We take the easy route because
Yeah.
we don't know computers as well.
Yeah.
So we'll just go talk to somebody face to face.
There you go, man.
So did you take, as far as like, are you self-taught all, as far as the marketing stuff like that, like the Google ads, or is there like a program or something that you go through to get that knowledge?
Yeah. So, partially self-taught. Built my first website when I was 9. It was a terrible website, but
I've never built a website.
Yeah.
So it's better than me.
yeah, it was just a little something that like, hey, my name is Steele, and I like dogs. It's just it's
Yeah.
basic. But no, I always kind of dabbled in it. I made music back in the MySpace days, and I promoted that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've always dabbled, and then it kind of came to me. Wow, I've kind of indirectly gained a lot of experience in this. Let me learn more about it. So I went to my favorite university, the University of YouTube, and I got on there. I searched for everything. I learned all I could. Then, my business partner, who was my girlfriend at the time, we decided to get together and do this because she had experience with graphic design. I had more of the business experience. So we kind of teamed up on that, and yeah. And you actually, there was a course. So there was a course. I spent $150 on it. It was by this guy named Billy Jean. Billy Jean is marketing. You may have seen his ads. He's this very gregarious guy. He kind of he had like this Wolf of Wall Street ad that he made. So he kind of mimicked the Wolf of Wall Street movie, and he was throwing watches into a crowd, and it was like, if you want to learn how to make money with marketing, click here. And I'm like, all right, this is interesting. So took his course, and he's like, oh, this is easy. Here's how you do it. It takes 30 days to set this up. And look, anything that's worth it is not easy.
Right.
Straight up.
That's right.
I did learn from his course, but it was not easy.
Yeah.
No part of it was.
In your times, I'm sure you've experienced some hardships going through, running your own business and stuff like that. What's some of the lowest points that you've had in your experience?
Oh, that's an awesome question. Man, where to start?
Yeah, I bet it's a lot. Yeah.
I go back to like 2015. 2015, I was just starting to flip furniture, flip appliances. And I had this washer and dryer set, and I had to sell it or a bill was not going to get paid. I had it for $400. The guy talked me down to, I think it might have been like $320. I had to sell it. Like, okay, cool, let's do it. So at the time, it was a delivery service I had. I would bear hug the appliances, pick them up, put them in my truck, go down the road. And of course, every appliance I tested out and made sure they worked good. Everything was fine. Get to this guy's house. It starts raining really heavy, like it does in Louisiana, down his street. The things are soaked. It's not a good appearance for the client. I get to his house. We plug up the machines. They don't turn on.
Oh gosh.
Knowing what I know now, a lot of times the breaker box is not set up correctly. But at that time, I didn't have that experience. I didn't know that. So more than likely, that's what the problem was. But to him, it was, oh, these things got rained on. I don't want them. These things don't work. And I can't blame the guy. He was right. And I just remember I drove home, and I was just I was tearing up. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing?
Yep.
That's the first thing that came to mind whenever you asked me about it.
And then probably felt stuck with those appliances because you probably believed they were broken at that point.
I did until the next day I plugged them. I'm like, ain't nothing wrong with these things. And I sold them the next day. But
yeah, that's how it goes. But you learn from failures.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you don't experience the failure, there's nothing to grow from. But I experience like the hardships now, like dealing with customers on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. Whenever an install goes bad, I've never installed a window. So when I do a follow-up and they're like, why does this look like this and that? And I'm like, I don't know, that getting embarrassed like that, it's taught me how to overcome those situations to now it's a breeze,
Yeah, 100%.
You got anything you want to talk about?
Oh,
how about those Saints?
Yeah. I didn't even be keeping up.
Are you a big football fan?
I watch it here and there. If I'm one of these guys, if a game is on, I don't care if it's like table tennis. I'm going to stop and just watch it. I can't help myself. I like competitiveness.
Right.
But I don't follow it too religiously.
Let's talk about that. As far as, could you say, it's pretty impressive. You wrote a book at 16?
No, in 2016.
I'm sorry, 2016. Yeah.
2016, and then you created your first ever website at age 9.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty impressive. As far as like your journey growing up, right? Go back to your childhood. Were you ever like I know you had the snowball stand too, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever like envision yourself being into your own business or your own, running your own company as far as marketing and stuff like that? Or did you want to be like a doctor,
Got it. I love this question. I'm gonna ask you this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the main audience that watches this? Is it mostly like men in their early 20s, or just anybody that's entrepreneurial minded?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought about this question on the ride here actually. When I was young, I'd read a lot of books.
Mm-hmm.
I was definitely a bookworm. I played sports, but I was definitely a bookworm. And I thought to myself, okay, whenever I get older, I'm just going to run things over. I'm going to be unstoppable. I'm doing all this stuff. I know other kids aren't doing it, yada, yada, yada. The truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have if you're not taking action on anything that you're reading and putting into your brain, nothing is going to come from it. If you have, the business knowledge of Elon Musk, but you don't act on it, then, it's not going to work out well for you. So, I kind of got a little bit off subject of the question, but that was just something heavy from my mind. Whenever you're a kid and, or even early 20s, and you think that because you're ingesting all this information that something's going to come of it, unless you have the guts to go do it and try and fail, it's worthless completely.
Yeah.
When do you think that really clicked for you? Would you say that you're much of like a vacation, or like you kind of take off, do you enjoy off days, or are you like massive action type of person where you're just, I want to do more every day?
For a long time, definitely a vacationer. I'll still take vacations.
We chase comfort. It's natural.
Yeah, sure. But now it's like it's uncomfortable to go on vacation. I don't know if y'all have experienced
it. In Cabo, we're looking at flights to leave a day early from a free trip,
Literally.
So it's just...
It's like a guilty feeling.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's like I'm having a good time, but I want to go grind. I just want to get out there and do something.
Win. Win. The addiction to winning.
Yes, right? There you go.
The addiction to winning. And one thing that we go through, and you as well, in sales, selling people on your business, is you go through so much failure over and over and over again, and the person that always wins is the one that gets up every day and don't quit.
Yeah.
So going through your failures with the failures that you've went through your company, I know you were talking about with the washer and dryer incident, but what would you say is maybe your biggest failure as growing the marketing company, what you would have learned from?
Okay, if I could have a time machine and go back, the first thing I would have done, I would have messaged 200 people that were in my inner circle. That's the number one thing I would have done. I wouldn't have tried to sell them anything. I would have just said, hey, hope you're doing well. I saw you guys have a new house. Congratulations. Congrats on the baby, all of that. Hey, by the way, I have a marketing company. We help small business owners.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you to buy anything, but if you know somebody, I'm looking to give away 5 free websites. Please let me know, because it took me so long to get my first client. And I could have just zoomed right past that and just got 5 websites, 5-star Google reviews, and been off to the races. I could have saved myself at least 6 months.
Yeah, it's reaching out to those people, especially the ones that I would say that, like one of the things that Dakota did as soon as we started this podcast was on Facebook. We sent out that with 1,000 people or something.
Well, yeah, how you can go to, what we did is you can add like somebody as like an advertiser or something like that on like a business page on Facebook, and you can invite all their friends.
Correct.
Yeah, so we did that to got like 10 people to do it and
started growing the followers.
That's 10,000 people, man. That's huge.
Yeah, and so but we started getting likes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's we talk about the 20th podcast, which is incredible because you think back. I mean, we started this in January, and the conversations that really started this probably November, I would think, when me and Cotton really started planning for this. And The thing is with a lot of people is that they don't see the instant results, so they quit. They don't understand the grind that you go through on a daily basis to, the long-term success. I can't remember who said it, but I heard a saying that, short-term success builds ego and long-term success builds character, right?
Absolutely.
Or
And
fast success builds an ego. Slow success builds the character.
yeah, same thing. But you have those people that, and they're looking for that instant gratification, right? Instead of falling in love with the process, the end result. So with your company, you said y'all have clients in what, 31 states?
31 states, yeah.
Yeah, that's very impressive. What would you say that I know you said you're 3 to 6 months is where you usually your timeline is on your goals. Where would you say that your company will be in 6 months?
In 6 months, I want to focus a lot more on getting every client we currently have into AI, putting AI bots on their website. It's a lot of our clients, people call their businesses from the website.
We didn't stop.
Keep going, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really integrate them with AI the best we can, because that's the wave. That's where everything's going. And for them to be able to compete effectively, they really got to get, on board with the AI. So,
Is that something that you have to program, or is it like something that you buy and you apply to it, or?
it's kind of a little bit of both. We have a base program, but you definitely have to program it for each business.
Okay.
So I mean, it's a little bit of both. But
Dakota loved AI through college. He what was that? What was the name of that website that you'd go on?
No, that was in real
Chat
estate.
GPT.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
That was whenever I was in real estate. That was at like October. That was when me and you kind of first started.
that's right. Yeah.
Yep, October. What would that be? October of 2022. Yeah,
Was it that long ago? That's 2 years ago.
October of 22. Yep,
Wow.
and it's crazy. And how me and you met through Kyle.
Yep, that's right.
And that shows you how big word of mouth is.
Yeah. Word of mouth is paramount, man. I mean, you can tell people I'm the best. Go with me. And all this, but if you don't have evidence, and especially enthusiastic people to pump you up,
Yeah.
it's kind of an uphill battle.
Yep. What would be any advice that you'd give to somebody that maybe is, I don't know, maybe that's not a good question. I was thinking, any advice that you'd give somebody that is, let's say, in school for marketing, right? In school, they're doing
You
the
recommend they stay in it?
They're doing the college route. They're going to get their degree in marketing.
Yeah.
What would be your advice to them already going through that process and now currently owning your own marketing company?
All right, let me think how to word this respectfully.
Drop out. No.
Yeah. But you can learn marketing. Okay, you can absolutely learn how to assist people in marketing businesses. And there's some very skilled people who make social media posts, mix it with graphic design, the whole thing. If you want to work for somebody else, and that's perfectly fine. Some people, that is the right move for them. Stay in marketing. Shoot your shot with a business that's up and coming or a Fortune 500 company. But if you're entrepreneurial minded, I can't recommend it. I can't recommend going in debt, taking the time. You can learn the curriculum for free on YouTube.
Yep.
I don't have any formal education in marketing. It's just basically, I can see what a business needs. I learn from YouTube. I learn from Udemy, which is a online platform to learn things. And I bought a cheap $150 course, and from there I made mistakes. I grew from there. I think we're the top ranked website design company in parts of Baton Rouge. If you Google us now, I think the east side of Baton Rouge we're number one, and top 5 in the rest of the city of Baton Rouge, and that came from somebody with no degree.
Right.
So I mean, if that's any indication of what you should do.
With your company, do you have like a lot of employees, or like how many people work with you?
So we have 3 people total that work. However, we do have a team that we work with out of Las Vegas. They do a lot of the work that bogs us down, that doesn't need to be creative necessarily. But early on, to keep prices as low as possible, and also keep the integrity of the work. It's really divided between me and my business partner, mostly, but we do delegate things to a team in Las Vegas that we have, and they're pretty awesome. But just to keep the creative direction the right way, for right now at this stage, we manage most of it.
Heck yeah, bro.
Yeah.
That's nice. And what was the drop the name of the what was the name of the book one more time?
Yeah. Again, very old book, 8 years ago, but it's called Procrastination: The Cure for I'll Do This Shit Later.
Yeah, that's perfect.
What would you rate your own book?
3.2 out of 5.
Hey, look, that's a good.
I'm just being honest. It's a good book. It's a very quick read. I designed it to be a 1 hour read because people that have issues with procrastination,
Yeah.
I want
Can't
them
finish a book.
you can't finish a book. It's funny how that works.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's a good book. It needed to be longer. Frankly, that was the issue with it.
Perfect, bro. Well, you got a hell of a story, dude.
Yeah,
Hell of a story. Definitely glad to have you on. What was the name of your marketing company again?
Yeah, never even mentioned that.
Yeah.
A Typical Marketing LLC out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Dallas now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what is there like a how do people reach you? Is like do they have an Instagram page for it, or how do people reach you as far as like small businesses and stuff like that?
Yeah, sure. So I mean, look, as I said earlier, if you want to contact me, text me. I know that's dangerous on the internet, but text me 702-582-1650. I'll get to everybody as soon as I possibly can. But seriously, I want to be somebody that you can talk to very freely, and just be somebody who's open and honest, and there's nothing hidden with our company. Mm-hmm. So yeah, text me. I'm open to it.
Different plans and stuff like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, bro. Any last words?
Happy 20th episode.
Yeah.
And one question too. So, of course, you read a lot of books. What's one of the most influential books that you've read to keep you where you are?
David Goggins' You Can't Hurt Me.
Love it. Yeah,
David Goggins,
great
You
book.
Can't Hurt Me. Yeah.
Best book I ever read.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect, bro. Well, hey, look, we're glad to have you,
Yeah,
and we're about to enjoy some steaks.
Oh yeah.
Enjoy some nice steaks.
I'm ready for it, man.
Clay
Let's do
Doggy's
it.
done cooking some steaks, so we're gonna have a good night. And thank you for all the listeners. What's your Instagram? How do you pronounce your last name? Because there's no way that people probably obliterate that all the time.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So my name is Steele Tortorich. I'm 35. I'm a little more old school. Find me on Facebook, Steele James Tortorich. I do have an Instagram too, Steele Tort. Steele Tort. I'll give him my email address. Steele Tort. Steele Tort on Instagram, and hit me up. Let's chat.
We'll get Jack to drive it because I don't even know how do you spell your last name.
Right. So Steele is like the metal with an E at the end of it. Last name is Tortorich. Tortor again. ICH.
Okay.
Tortorich.
Tortorich.
It's like a tongue twister.
Yeah.
It is that.
Excellent. Hey, thank y'all for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
Take care.